Hey, welcome. In today's video, I'd like to talk about street photography things that I'm doing differently here in 2024 and how they're impacting my photography in general. I'm learning to appreciate new things and experiences. Before we get started, I quickly want to introduce myself. My name is Embreen, also known as Hipster in Copenhagen. I'm a management consultant during the day, and during the night, I moonlight as a street photographer, something that I've done for over 8 years. And I can also say that I'm a certified street photography addict. I'm guessing you are too, since you are here. All right, so let's take a look at the things that I'm doing differently in 2024. End of last year, I started to read physical books. I think it's been almost a decade since I voluntarily sat down to read a book. I read the occasional white papers for work, and that's about it. Going into 2024, I made the conscious decision of reducing my social media consumption and make room for the things that add value in my life. And one of those things are actually books. I have always been a fan of audiobooks, and I've listened to quite a few of them. I also do like podcasts, but there is something really special about reading a book. And right now, I think I have 3 or 4 books that I'm reading interchangeably. I want to highlight 3 different books that I read, and they are not specifically related to street photography, but they had a profound impact on the way I think about street photography. Because on top of being a street photographer, I'm also a content creator, and sometimes I'm just not inspired. I'm just seeking the same inspiration and the same sources. And these 3 books really inspired me and also made me more creative when I'm looking at my street photography. The first book I want to highlight is called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. So Rick Rubin is an American record producer and has been in the business for many years and worked with some of the biggest artists. And his book is centered around 78 thoughts that he's gained over the years working with creative people and being in the creative industry. And I remember when I picked up the book, I just felt a bolt of inspiration just struck me. I could not put the book down. I think in the first hour I read 100 pages. They're quite easily read. Every time I pick up the book, there was always something that triggers me, whether it's a sentence, a word, or maybe the whole chapter. So for me, it has been very, very positive, because when I was reading this book, I was in a period where I didn't feel that creative, both in terms of my street photography but also in terms of this channel. For me, that book has been a little bit of a lifesaver. This is just a fantastic book. So actually, I ordered it online, so I have it as my little Bible for inspiration. The next book I want to highlight is called The War of Art, and it's written by Steven Pressfield. It was published back in 2002. It's a really light read, and it's definitely a kick in the backside. So basically, Steven Pressfield talks about breaking through the blocks that are stopping us from being creative, stop procrastinating, and being disciplined, to pursue our calling in terms of art. So this is definitely a good read if you're feeling some kind of block in terms of your street photography or in other areas in your life. The last book I want to highlight today is called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So this is an old classic. This is very popular amongst actors and screenwriters that are suffering from creative block. So the book is built around a framework that she developed. So basically, it's a set of steps that you have to follow over 3 or 4 weeks every day. Julia Cameron talks about a technique called the morning pages. So basically, this is a brain dump. The first thing you do in the morning, you write 3 pages, and it can just be stream of consciousness. It was actually quite a difficult thing to do, and I did it for 30 days, just to sit down first thing in the morning before you check your emails, your socials, and whatever you like to do in the morning. It actually really forced me to put my thoughts on paper, and it could be anything, so something that I experienced or something related to street photography. The idea here is to get your creativity and inspiration going, especially if you've been feeling creatively blocked. The morning pages technique really helped me tremendously, because I expanded that and ventured into having a notebook with me at all times. I carry a Moleskine pocket size and a pen, and what I use that notebook for is to capture my thoughts specifically related to street photography. So something really great came out of that book and that specific technique. I want to talk about photo books. I bought a couple of photo books last year, and I can say this is a direct result of my decision of reducing my social media consumption. But it also left a gap in terms of inspiration, because I use Instagram as a source of inspiration, because I used to look at photographs from other photographers. Lately, I felt like it didn't really motivate me anymore. So I started to look elsewhere in terms of inspiration. And the obvious choice for me was to buy a couple of photo books, like many other street photographers before me. It was a little bit of a process for me to pick the photo books that I bought, because I really wanted the photo books to have an impact on me in terms of my street photography, but also resonate with me, because I want to feel when I look at the photos, it sparks something within me. So the books that I have are Ernest Haas, New York in Color, and the other one is Soul Lighter, The Unseen, and I have Fred Herzog Modern Color as well. So these are the 3 that I have right now, and I'm pretty sure I'll add more throughout the year. On the topic of photo books, I want to mention a different kind of photo book. I'm talking about the homemade, private kind of photo book. So this photo book was gifted to me by my friends for my birthday. This is such a thoughtful gift to give somebody because it contains so many years of experiences and memories that we had together. In 2024, I'll be definitely making more photo books for myself, and I'm not talking about the commercial part of it. I'm talking about photo books like the one I just showed you, just for my street photography. And I've decided that I will make a photo book a year, so preferably end of the year, where I pick my favorite photographs and put it in a book. And this is a good way to really keep a track of my street photography over the year, because how often do you just go back and look at your old photograph? And sometimes I look at my Instagram profile, but that's only a fraction of the photos that I normally take in a year. So for me, this is definitely something that I'm doing differently this year. The next thing I'll be doing differently in 2024 is to print my photographs. There is something really satisfying when looking at your photographs that you made yourself, and I will be definitely doing this more. And there's a whole process in terms of how to frame it, what size, and also the process of selecting the photographs you want to have printed. Last year, I was lucky enough to have won small competitions here in Copenhagen, and the prize was a printout of my photograph. I really like the idea of having my photographs hanging around here in my apartment. So this is definitely something I'll be doing more in 2024. But there's a whole process, so be mindful of when you're printing your own photographs, because not all photographs are great for printing. And the photographs that I had printed was more night street photography. They were just a bit too dark for my taste. So basically the deep black and the shadows, that looks amazing digitally. They looked very differently on print. So just be mindful of the photographs you choose for print. These were the street photography related things that I'm doing differently this year. And I'm super excited about, tracking the progress throughout the year. Maybe I'll revisit the topic at a later point. All right, take care. See you in the next one.